Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you are doing great. Today, we are just taking something new and we will get some extra information to our memory and adding something else to our website. So yes, we will take something which we call it iframe and form. So first, Control Alt S just to save our website. 7th site a.html. Now we have the HTML, then HTML. We have head. Then this, we have body. Body. Now we are at the title. Fact. Coming here, S2. S2. What we have for S2, we have iframe and form. So today we are taking so we said it's a tag. So yes, exactly, it's a tag. And iframe, just let's keep it here. Iframe. Now, what we have here, we have some really nice and simple information that we are putting it inside. And for your information, the iframe has some sort of attribute that we are using it accordingly, and it depends on the situation that we are using iframe in. So for example, the first one, which is really necessary, is the source of our URL. So here we are putting our URL source. So for your information, if you are putting any URL like Google or any URL that contain HTTPS, it won't open in our website because those websites are being secured. So that's why it's not letting it to be open in some website that we are not secured and we didn't publish it yet. So that's why it's just look at it as a way to thread this website. That's why the browser is not allowing you to open it. So as an alternative, what we are taking our own websites that we already made it. Did I save this? I think so, yes. So here we have our website. So yeah, so here open it right now. So for the link, we just use this one, property. This is one of our page. So yes, we can just use this one. It's still an website. because we have HTML. That's why it means this is a website. So we are going back to the code, Control V. And as we know, HTML is not dealing with backslash. So we have just changed it to /. And then the last one is going to be the name, sixth site a.html. Control S. Now refresh. This is our website that yesterday we just made it. So if I want to make change here, I will just use style equal. For this one, I just want to use a certain style. For example, I want this to make the width 250 and the height 300. Then we can just move it to the right because we don't want it to be here. So we will move it here to the right. So for this, we are using float, right? Then we can write, yeah, it's enough. So refresh. Here we are. We have our website. Something like this. This is the heading that I wrote, and this is the paragraph, and then the website, which it is in the right side of our page. We just open now. Remove this border. I can call border. Then none. I believe that we used this before, where we used the none properties or the value of none when we use it. Guys, we used none before. Where was it? No. No. We used none, N-O-N-E, none, in some other tags. Yeah, Sana, we are using it in border, but before we use it somewhere else. You remember we use it in the UL. We said none, so there is no bullet point there. So yeah, so we use it in UL. No, it's not a name. Yes, in list. Nar wrote you. Thank you, Sabnar. So yeah. Well, we just blended with our website. We just removed the border. So now we can't see any border here. Well, if I add a link, I have a paragraph because we know that the paragraph is just, the link is not printing by itself. So we need a paragraph to print it there. So here I have the href, the hyperlink reference. Then I will add the hyperlink. Let's say I will add this. Control C and Control V. I want to open this somewhere else. So here I will use the target equal blank, Control S. So I'm going to my website, refresh. So I have this website. If I click it, it will open this page for me in a new tab. Well, if I want to open this here in my iframe, how to use it? Easy peasy. We are just adding here name to our iframe. I will call it my page. So here, instead of target blank, target what? I will target my page. Control S. And I will delete this here. I will leave it blank like this. I will leave it blank. I will clear everything. And then now I refresh it. Nothing here, right? After I click the page, it will open it here. Instead of open it in a new tab, it will open it in the iframe. Okay, so nice and easy. We just did it this way. So we can use an iframe as a target for our website. Something easy and simple like this. So let's put space here, or let's just put a BR, double BR indeed, to make a space. Control S. Yes, it's fine. So what I'm doing, I'm just adding the other tag, which is, we just said we have taken form. So it's form. We have to close it. Something like this. It's nice and easy. What we are doing now, we are just trying to use the tags that are, or the attributes that we are, the elements that we are using within the form. So the first one is input. For your information, input is one of the open tag that we don't need to close it. So it's an open tag, and we are just adding the attribute to the input. This is the first element with the form that we are taking today. So let's just separate them. Yeah, just to have it like this. So what we have first, we have the type of, or let's say the data type that we are inputting to the field. Because you took form in Access, and you know that we just bring the fields and we fill these fields with information. That's why here also we have to create our fields. And how to create it, we are just giving, like within the input, to input the field into my form. And then what is the data type that I'm using, and also we have ID to give an identification to our input. So I will call this, for example, A. We have name. We just can state this is a first name. Then we can just add a value. So if we enter this value, so it just represent what we want, or it just show anything that we are writing here. So we will just say enter a name. Control S. Let's go back here and refresh. So here we have this. It just written enter a name. So I have to just clear this and write a name. Ali. Something like this. Then we can just ignore this bit. Instead of this, we can add a label. We can add a label. And here in the label, we are saying for equal, which this is for what? This is for the A. So we are entering the ID of A. And here we are just typing text. I'm sorry, I forgot to say what is the data type. The data type is here is a text. So instead of anything, we are saying enter your name, Control S. So here, if I'm refreshing, I will have something like this. So I just removed what I wrote in the value just to keep it clean. Then I just enter the name, enter your name here, change it to that. So here, what we have, the data type is a text and the ID is A for the first one. Name is the first name and then the value is empty. Now let's add BR to have our next input and do just copy this, Control C, and then Control V. So here I will write enter your age. So this one gonna be B, and here we can change it to B because this is for this input method. So here we are changing it to age. And here let's just full name. Yeah. So for the value, we'll just keep it simple like this or empty. And now if we are going here and do refresh, we have something like this, enter your age. So here you are entering the name and here you are entering the age. So what else we have? This is the first one for the text. Then what else we have? We have input. This time what we have, the data type, we can use radio, which means radio button. Then we have the ID equal, we will call it R1. And we have the value, first the name equal radio, or let's say option, anything, just I will name it Sora because the name. Then here we have what? We have the value. In the value, we can write this one is a male for the gender. Then we have a label. DR. One is enough. So here in this between oil, this one is gonna be for what we have R1. Okay. Then here we will write male. Okay. We can just copy and paste this one. Control C and Control V. We will change this one to female. Then this is R2. And here for R2, we have what? We have female. Control S. So for the name also, I can just name them male and female. These are just names. Which is more important is the value. Now, if I just do refresh, I will see here is this radio buttons that I could just use it based on the values that we have it. So we have the value for the first one is a male and the value for the second one is a female. So yes, here we are just using something else within our input. Then going back, type. This time I'm using something else. ID, name, and value. Yes, so here we are using checkbox and give it a name. This is CH1 and the name, let's name it ICT. And here leave the value empty because we don't care about the value, this one. And then we will give it a label. So here is for equal. Let's just clean this one as well. Yeah, just keep it like this. Then you will say ICT. So copy this, Control C, Control V, and Control V. So just to have, we don't need 3, just have 2, yes. So here we will just call this 2. So this one is gonna be Control C and Control V. And this one also Control C and Control V, because the label is for this purpose. So here we are changing this one into is ICT, we will change it to English. And here is also English. It's just a name, do not forget this. Okay, Control S. So now if we are refreshing, yes, I forgot. I want to put BR here just to put it in a new line. Refresh. So yes, we have male, female, we have ICT, we have English. So it's simple like this. We can just put one more BR here just to make them separate quite good. Yes. So this is the checkbox that we can use it as we did it within our radio button as well. So yeah, we can just like give it a go and try it. Now, what else we have? Before this, yes, I just want to move on to another element that I can use it with the form, which is select. Something like this. Then for the select, what we have some important information that we can use it within select, which is the ID as usual, because within these we need those name. So I will give this an ID. I will just say select ST. Yes. And the name is course. So just like to make it simple like this. Then what I have with select, I have option. So each of these are being selected for a reason. So because you are just selecting them one by one. So we will give options to our select. So the first one, we are giving that value equal what we have in our course. We have literacy, so we will call this literacy. And then what else we have? Another option. It's fine. I know I just pressed wrong key. Yeah. So here I will add the value equal. Then what else we have? We have expert, which is not right. So Control S. We just gave two options here. We can give the third one. Option. Value. This one, we can say none. Yes, great. Control S. So we have these. We are just refreshing. Oh, yes. My mistake. We are just keep them a bit away. So yes, here we have these three options. I can just pick one of them, any of them that I want. I can just pick. If I want this to be shown, I can just give here size equal how many values we have, how many options we have, 3. Control S. So if I'm going here we are. We have the options in front of me. Any of them I will select. I can just select it this way. We don't need to just click on a drop-down list. So if we want to make it in a drop-down list indeed, so it's nice and easy. What we have here, just BR and the BR. Yes. So what else we have? We have data list. So let's just data list closed. And then here I have to have an input for our data list because it's something, there's a list. We need something to print it as we have it for the link. We need the paragraph just to print it. So as well as for the data list in the form, you need an input for that purpose. So here we have the list. Instead of the data type, we are just writing the list. And here we just need to have ID. We call it DT or DL data list. DL data list. Then here we are just writing this DL. as it is. Then going down to the data list, and here I will give the options. Just copy this. So the first, we will give a value equal Control-C. I just forgot to do this in the very beginning. It's my mistake, so don't repeat this mistake. So the first one, let's just name it something with 3 options. And the last one, none. Okay, so here is ICT, here is English, and here is none. So we have these 3 options in this specific list. So here we have an input because, as we said, we have link, but we cannot print it by itself. So it has to be in a paragraph. So here as well, we have list, but we cannot just enter it without an input. So that's why we have this input, but instead of type, we have the list and the name of the list, something like this. Control-S and refresh. So here we have the list. We can just pick from here something that we want to use. So yeah, you're just like picking. Then we can just use it. So this is the list. It's nice and easy and so clear. Let's just use here. VR, something like this. Control-S. So the last and not the least, we have input. But this time in this input, we have the data type, something else that we call it submit. Okay. But here, for this purpose, we need in the form to add an action. So first, from the very beginning of the form, you have to add in the tag of the form, we have to add action equal to, we have to give a action, let's say page dot php. This is fake. This is fake because I didn't create any PHP file. So that's why when I'm doing submit here, when I'm doing submit, or something like this, I'm going back here and refresh. After I will try submit my file, it will say, okay, we don't have access to the file that you, or the page that you mentioned. So I have to create this page by my own, as we did it with the form in MS Access. You remember in MS Access, we had to have the table, then we create the form for it. So here, because we didn't create the form, so that's it, the table, that's why we don't have any access to the data. So yes, and we have something else. We can just use it as well. Input the type equal to What else we have? We have button. We can use a button here and BR. So we can just name this button blah blah because it does nothing for me. Control S. And now refresh. There is nothing in this button. That's why I can just add a value equal and name this one check. Okay. Control S. Now, if I do refresh, it just written check. If I'm clicking on it, it does nothing because we didn't give any action to those things that they are doing, submitting, or they are just like working for activating something or doing something. That's why we just like give it a go, but we can just use this one as this button as an submit instead of just using this submit button or this submit data type. But as again, we cannot do this because we have no permission for doing that because of the lack of the table. Well, we took these things. Now it comes to the very end and the very last bit, which is the oh yes, I forgot about it. Yes, we have something else before that we can use it while we are WBR. And this is not WBR just for decoration. So we have something else that if we have before this, I suggest it's better to put it here. So before you are submitting your form, you are just like having something as a comment area. So we have text area, which it do a bit of giving you a bigger space to write your comment. So how to do this? We have this way, which is the first way. We just name it txt area. Then we have rows. I just want this to be 10 rows. And we have calls for the columns. And let's this be 20 columns. Oh, it's too much. 15 columns. Control S. Here, after we are just doing refresh, we have this. I forgot to give WR. Control X. Let's put it here. Control V. Control S. Yes. So yeah, we have this text area. This is something that you can just control it and make it bigger or smaller just by drag and drop. But in general, you just give a space for the person to just write their comment. So you didn't limit them to just say, okay, you have permission just to write this much of text. No, you just like telling them to write as much as they want. But instead, you just give a bigger space to let them know that this is for the purpose of writing their comment. So here we can use it this way or Control C. Control V. We can use, instead of this row and columns, we can use width and height. So we will say the width, let's be 200, and the height be 250. Control S. So we have both of them right now. This is the first one and this is the second one. You can just also make it bigger and smaller, this one. So it's up to you. You can just give them something like this, or you can use both of them at the same time. So this is our website. Now I see this one is more unorganized, and I want to organize this. I want just to put it into something that's just like add these guys label. Here I can add a label for this one. For equal, it's ST. For ST, please choose from the and option. And I will give it a BR. This is for this one, and that one I will give something like this. These are just for decoration. Or yes, I need an ID here. ID equal, I will call this ED. It's fine, any name. Control S. So for equal DD. So here I will write choose from the list. Yes. So I just add this to this one. And here I can just add something like paragraph. I will add a paragraph just to show that you are not obliged just to use labels. Well, yeah, I can use anything. For example, I can use H3 here. So in this between, I will just write your comment. Now I do refresh. I have something like this. So here also I can just do anything else that I prefer for my website. Yes, I just want to make it more clear. Yeah, it's just simple like this. It's just 2 BRs. Control S. Now, yeah. You see, it's fine for now. So if I want to put these all in something more organized, what we have field set. How to add a field set? After the tag of the form, you have another tag which called field set. Field set. And where we are closing it, we are closing it just before field set, just before the end of the form. Before the end of the form, we are closing the field set. Then after adding the field set, what I will add a legend. The legend is just like giving me a name to this set of fields that I have. And I will name it. I will say my form. Control S. And here I will add style. I want to add a certain width. Let's say 30% of my body. Control S. And refresh. Here we have this form as it's showing. I can just add a float here and put it into the right. So it's in the right side. And then after I click in here, we have this bit as well, because we just took 40% of this website. And here we have about 200, I think, 250 of the width. So it just like fitting together without any problem. And I can keep it as it is without any problem. Control S and Control V to keep all the data where it is and where we want. Nice and easy. We can just do it this way without any problem, and everything is clear and everything is fine. We don't have any problem with our form and with our data. So this is how we are dealing with this information and how we can apply the iframe and also the form. We just like go through each of them and we gave them an example for each of the data type that we have. However, we have many data types that we didn't mention it now because we just saw these are the required for you for now, but later on we have extra. Let's go deeper into our web developing. So when we are going deeper or when we are diving more, we will have the other things that we will take, because like the data types is quite a lot, and also the elements that dealing with the fields is the form is more than these, but I don't want to give you extra things while we are not using it for right now, because later on when we are going to CSS and JS, we will use extra information and extra things from the elements and the attributes for both forms, and also we have some extra information for the iframe, because maybe use it for a video player. We can just use it for a video player. We can just put a video there and play this video within it, or we can just use it as data, the image show or image presenters, just like put an image there and just look at the image from there. So I think this is enough for today, and thank you for your participation. I think we have like a bit of time. Uh, However, like the morning shift, they couldn't reach this moment because we had some issue. Um, that's why with you, lucky for you, you have time. You can just practice something with Mama Stabner, and tomorrow it will be whole day of review session. So yes, I will leave you with Mama Stabner. So thank you and goodbye.